Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
We're glad you could take time out of your very busy schedule to sit with us for just a little bit today.
Absolutely. We hope you have your beverage, whatever it is that you're drinking. We're drinking some of our herbal tea. We are Tamara and Twila. We have a small shop south of Lawrence, Kansas, as well as an herb school and many other classes that we offer as well. And we really appreciate you being here. We hope that you will like, comment, and share because that really helps our algorithm. You know, Facebook sometimes makes it hard on small businesses. And so when you like, comment, or share, it really helps us out. So thank you so much for that. This past weekend, we had actually a weed walk with some of our local home herbalist students from this year, which was absolutely wonderful to walk outside with them. And we do what we call a meet, greet, and eat some of the weeds, what people call weeds, but are actually, in many cases, actually just wild herbs that people haven't been properly introduced to yet. And so we like to take people out and properly introduce them to some of our wild friends that grow outside that we enjoy to gather and eat. And, you know, it really brings to mind now that it's getting hot, how short a window oftentimes we have to gather some of these wild plants because and even some, of course, some of our cultivated plants as well. Everything is very seasonal. And that's one of the things that we teach in our home herbalism program is how seasonal things are and how important it is to really work with the seasons as we move through the seasons. You know, in our modern day lives, we are very kind of spoiled with being able to go to the store and get whatever we want whenever we want it. But as herbalists and as people who love to go out and forage, you know, there are windows of time. There's only windows that those things are available. And once they're gone until next year. So right now, a lot of our favorite herbs are kind of winding down. Our favorite spring herbs, I should say, our early spring herbs that we love to see when they come up first thing in the spring, like chickweed, which is now nearing its end. And it has a small little season where it's delicious and plump and juicy and wonderful. And then it gets all dried out and then we move on to the next thing. But one of the things that is still gatherable is our garlic mustard. This is garlic mustard. And you can tell it's part of the mustard family by the little seed heads. It has these little seed pods starting to develop on here right now. This one's kind of wilted because we gathered it first thing this morning. And it's called garlic mustard because the leaves taste like garlic mustard. And so it's one of the plants that you don't want to ingest a whole lot of, but it's fine used in moderation. And because of how it tastes, you probably wouldn't use it in anything but moderation. But we do also add it to our salads fresh because of its wonderful garlic mustard flavor. And we can even saute them, or we can also fry them up and make them a little bit crispier and put them in things. Sometimes I do recipes of kale chips. Some of you may have made something called kale chips. We do that with plantain, broadleaf plantain, which is one of the weeds that grows out here. And sometimes we'll add some garlic mustard to that too, which gives it a nice flavor. So that's one of our wild herbs that we shared this past weekend with our students as well. So this upcoming weekend is Mother's Day.
Yes, it is. Mothers for all kinds of mothers.
Yes, all kinds of mothers.
Take care of fur babies, even.
Yep, that's true.
Yes.
Yep.
As well as children. This is the first Mother's Day that I will be without my mother. And she passed away last July at age 99. When a baby is born, the first face they see is normally their mother. Mothers are our connection to the earth. And when that connection is broken, our whole energetic environment changes. So everything changes, and we learn to adapt and get along with it and work with our grief and remember some of the things that were good memories with our mothers. And one of my mother's favorite things was the iris. And she called it the poor man's orchid. And so I have lots of variety of iris, as does Tamara. They're just the most beautiful thing, and ours are in full bloom right now. And just delightful. I just love them. I just love looking at the beauty. They are truly, truly beautiful. And so when they aren't blooming, one of the other things I look at then maybe is, this is a little iris I made out of ribbon. A friend showed me how to make this. So I'm going to put a few of them on cards and so on. love making them. They're fun to make.
Beautiful. Love it so much.
And so for Mother's Day, we have some Mother's Day ideas.
Yes, we do. Because, mothers, as Mom mentioned, mothers can also be, lots of people in our lives who are, nurturing and our mother maybe figures for us. And so it's wonderful to honor that whole archetype of that nurturing, compassionate energy. And so we love Mother's Day, and we have a few ideas because some of you may be thinking about, what am I going to get this person for Mother's Day? And so one of the things we have is our women's tea. And our women's tea is a delicious blend of organic herbs and flowers that's created to support a woman's well-being at every stage of life. It contains herbs that we love for women, and that includes rose and motherwort and linden and jasmine and shatavari and a few of our other favorite herbs as well. And so we have it in the small packages, we have it in bulk, and we have it in some larger packages as well. So that's a wonderful idea for Mother's Day. We also have several jewelry cases full of both new artisan crafted and vintage jewelry. And so one of our favorites are these beautiful hand-carved, hand-painted feather earrings. We love feathers.
We love to find them.
You have to find feathers. But when you have them as earrings, they tend to disintegrate pretty quickly. And so these are wonderful. They are hand-carved out of bone and hand-painted to look exactly like actual bird feathers. So this is a wild turkey. Then we have wild turkey, wood duck, and peregrine falcon, as well as some other bird feather earrings by this same artist. They are amazing, and they would make a wonderful Mother's Day gift for anyone, I'm sure. And so also we wanted to just briefly talk about a couple of items that we have in our first aid, because now as we are getting into summer, first aid becomes kind of a more important thing. It seems like that's when we need first aid, is a lot of times in the summertime. We're working out in the garden, or kids are out playing in the yard or whatever. And so one of them that we just now created, we're calling it our Tissue Trauma Care Roll-On. And this Tissue Trauma Care Roll-On is really what I would call also a bruise care. It's really for any time that we've had an impact on our body, and it's just to roll on. It's made with some botanical oils, which are really helpful for helping to treat bruises. And why do we want to treat bruises? A lot of times we don't think about treating bruises, but Matthew Wood is an herbalist that we enjoy and follow. We follow lots of different herbalists as well, because we all learn from one another. And he says there's an old, widespread American Indian maxim to the effect that one should always treat a bruise because a bruise will change to bad blood, and bad blood can change into cancer. Now, in Chinese medicine, a bruise or a tendency to bruising is also called stagnant blood or congealed blood, and it's always considered wise to treat bruises because stagnant blood can turn into cancer. So that's what they say in Chinese medicine as well. And the same doctrine is found in homeopathy. So we try to treat bruises, and we encourage people to treat bruises. And this is a really handy way to treat bruises. We have in here not only the botanical oils that the herbs are infused in, but the herbs as well. And the herbs that we use are a variety of herbs. One of the major ones, though, is yarrow. Yarrow is one of our favorite herbs. And talking about gathering our herbs in the spring, in the short window of time, I always think about yarrow, because yarrow is one of those herbs that as soon as it starts to flower, we must get out and gather, because it has a short window before it is done. And so we do gather yarrow when it is just flowering. And we have lots of yarrow growing out here wild. We're very, very fortunate to be on 10 acres with lots of wild herbs. And you do want to use, if you are using yarrow in your own herbal apothecary, you want to make sure you're using the white wild yarrow, not the pink or the red or the yellow cultivars, which a lot of people see in the landscaping. They're beautiful. We use them in our landscaping as well, but we don't use them for medicine because they have poisonous levels of volatile oils. So we want to make sure we're only using the white wild yarrow. And you can grow the wild yarrow. It's very easy to find seed and to plant it as well. And yarrow helps to move the fluids in the body. It really is it's a wonderful herb for moving any kind of fluid in the body that we want to balance. With blood, it helps to remove stagnation. It helps to stimulate peripheral circulation. it helps to distribute and disperse blood in the body. And so we absolutely love it. It's actually one of its nicknames is woundwort. And so it's wonderful for lots of different wound issues, but bruising is one of those. And so that's one of the things that we use in our bruise care, our tissue trauma roll on. And then we also have another roll on, I think I mentioned last week, which is the bug bite roll on. And that's actually a tincture made with alcohol and plantain. And we'll talk more about plantain probably at some other one of our tea talks. But that's one of our those are a couple of our wonderful first aid roll ons that we carry here in the shop that we make ourselves from herbs that we love, and lots of them that we wildcraft as well.
They are ones to have on hand, to keep handy, so
Yes.
that we can use them when we need to.
Yeah, they're
So,
wonderful to have on hand. So take some time this weekend and honor the mothers or mother figures or those who nurture you in your life, because that's really the mother archetype. In tarot, the mother archetype is the empress. She's really the mother figure of the tarot. And so anytime I draw the empress in the tarot, I'm reminded of the mothering portion of the roles that we can all play in our lives, right? And so it's also taking the time to, how can I mother someone else? How can I be that nurturing and compassionate person who really seeks collaboration? That those are things that really to me represent also that mothering energy.
yes. And I think this weekend I will take a little time to sit on my front porch in my rocking chair and commune with Mother Nature and think about all the women that I am grateful for that have mothered me throughout life, that have held me up when I needed to be held up, including my daughter and all of our wonderful friends around us. I had a little rough day the other day, and I had a friend who didn't know about that rough day, but here she stopped by and brought this wonderful little bouquet of lily of the valley. And aren't they just gorgeous? And I
So
appreciate that. So these are
beautiful.
the things that we do, that we are thankful for, the ladies and the women, brothers, sisters that are, and children that we are thankful for, that hold us up in those tough times. I would like to read a little quote from my book that says, Mother's Day is a thank you card to every woman who has ever hugged a baby, kissed a boo boo, listened closely, cared deeply, and passed on her love and wisdom to others who needed her too.
I love that. That's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And so,
Have a wonderful week.
have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week.
Good earth blessings to you.